guys, we are here at the AIBC in Dubai. It's my pleasure to be here with one of our award winners last night. You won our Web3 Leader Award. It is Jane Thomason. I'm saying that correctly, right?
You are. I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
thank you.
It's so good to have you here. It's honestly such a pleasure. Really just want to dive into a bit of your experience in this space and how over the last, year when we have been in a bit of a difficult time, how do you think the industry has coped with it and accelerated in ways?
Well, yeah, it's been an interesting year because every time we thought that we'd seen the last crash, there'll be another one. But I was speaking at a conference in London just when FTX went under, and we were saying, what are we going to say about digital assets today? But I think what you see is the same as what we saw in sort of 2018 when things went down, is that the people who are just there fly-by-night trying to make money, they go away, and the people who are serious builders keep on building. So that's what I'm seeing, is the people who've got great projects are continuing to build on them and, trying to weather the storm, and people who've got good runways will do that. So I think we'll come out of this with some great projects that people are working on, and especially, I've really started to focus on Web3 and Metaverse more, and we're seeing so much investment and so much innovation and development in those areas all around the world. So I'm incredibly excited about what's going on.
Yeah, I think it is exciting. I always say in the bear market, it's time to be bullish. Like, it's time to build as much as you can and also diversify. I think the Web3 Metaverse industry really has so much potential. And what do you think will be the first steps into the Metaverse? Who will be the big parts of the blockchain entering into the Metaverse?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I wanted to just introduce that we've launched the World Metaverse Council.
Yeah, of course.
So we have more than 700 people from 70 countries who are all working on different aspects of the Metaverse. So it's like a global distributed live knowledge network. So we really feel like we've got the latest of what's going on in Metaverse all around the world. But what we're seeing is we've actually got, I'm going to say, several different proponents of building metaverses. One is gaming, because they've already had most elements of metaverses already, and it's just a question of kind of adding Web3 or something like that. And then you've got the big techs, Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon. They're going to just build a metaverse on the top of their existing platforms, so it won't be peer-to-peer, and it won't be enable people to kind of access and be rewarded for their efforts. But many people will use it because they're already on Facebook, and so it's going to be easy for them. And then we've got the Web3 builders like Sandbox and others, and they're trying to build the experience, bring the brands in, and that's really interesting. And then I'm going to talk about the metaverses with utility or government metaverses, because that's where we're seeing huge development in health and education, in government services, where people are seeing that the metaverse can actually extend and enhance the work in education, health and government. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and we're going to get a lot more services through the metaverse than anyone ever expected.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. It's such an incredible space, and it is transforming every day, every week. More and different concepts are coming out, and it can be used really in any industry, right?
Yeah, so I think that the immersive experience one, the ability to collaborate globally all around the world 24 hours a day, and then digital twins is a really important aspect of it, because whether you're building a road or an airplane or a hospital, or you're doing a complicated operation, you can create a digital twin of anything and perfect your skill before you launch it in the real world. And I think this is going to help virtually every industry.
Are there any specific markets that you've noticed have really started adopting the metaverse a lot more? I guess the Middle East is a big market.
Well, Middle East has jumped in. It's interesting because one of our interns did some research on where the developments are happening. And at the moment, the most investment is still in the US. But if you think of, US, China is absolutely jumping into the metaverse with enthusiasm, and there are hundreds of companies there. But what we're also seeing, and I expect we're going to see that, is innovation coming out of emerging markets, because metaverse is going to solve some problems for them where they've struggled to be able to reach people. And as long as someone can create a mobile, accessible augmented type reality experience, then I think that's the one that's going to take off, because it'll be affordable and it'll be able to be used in all of these markets.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think that's actually a market people don't really identify, because there are certain regions putting so much money into the metaverse. Look at Saudi and NEOM. It's crazy the investment that they're making. But it's also understanding how much it can apply to everyday life as well, and how people are going to integrate it into their lives. So how do you sort of see, I mean, everyone has their different stance, right, on how the metaverse will be important, but how do you see it fitting in with people's lives?
So I think it depends on what your problem is that you're trying to solve, because always we're going to do something that solves the need we have. So if you're socially isolated and you want entertainment, you'll go for entertainment. I personally love the idea of sending my avatar shopping, so I don't have to go into the shop and try clothes on.
Agreed.
And the avatar can try it on and I just get the goods. But I think if you think about you're elderly and you can't travel anymore, you can still take trips in the metaverse. If you're disabled and you can't get out and go to town, you can still access your doctor, access services, access the government. So I think it's really going to depend, on what you want and need, but definitely the younger generation, Gen Alpha, are almost born with a screen attached to their hand.
Yeah,
they're very used to immersive environments, and they're going to embrace this incredibly fast and show us how we can use it.
And obviously there are quite a lot of obstacles in place right now. People are scared for adoption. What do you think are going to be the first few steps to trying to onboard a lot more people and help people believe in the industry? Because people just see crypto as being blockchain, and then the metaverse scares them. So how are we going to help people adopt the metaverse?
Well, look, I do a lot of education, which is really around putting it into really accessible everyday terms, not using any technical terms, and just showing people how they might be able to use it, whether it's for shopping, whether it's for travel, whether it's for kids' education. And I find that helps people understand. And I think the more, and that's what we're excited about with the Metaverse Council, is we're finding the use cases, and then we can show people the use cases, and then they're going to start to find it attractive. Because if you think about education, I can understand that it's scary, because it's almost everything about our traditional education system is going to change. The skills teachers need are going to change. The skills students need to be taught are going to change. And so I think that is scary for people. But we've got our education working group working on disentangling all of this and helping look at all the different aspects of what the future workforce will be like, what are the different ways metaverse can be used, and getting examples with education institutions for using it. And remember, bricks and mortarless. The future school doesn't need to have a classroom.
It's so incredible to think about, but at the same time, we always have a digital revolution. Things are always changing, and we have to adopt it. We have to understand, as you say, how it fits in with our life. It's not here to take over our life. It's here to adapt and be part and supplement the good parts of our life. As you say, you want to go shopping. I might want to do meetings in the metaverse. I could do my interviews in the metaverse.
Absolutely.
All of these different aspects of trying to highlight the positives rather than the negatives.
But the negatives are there, but I think we need, so we've also got a group working on ethics in the metaverse, because there are questions about identity, privacy protection, protection of children, and these are matters that need to be identified and then looked into and action taken to try and protect consumers. So it's not they're not there, but we need to call them out and we need to act on them.
Yeah, that's very true. It's having to make sure it's a controlled environment and that things, can be kept in a nice, nurturing environment rather than being let to run free a bit too much. And in terms of frontier technology such as a blockchain, how can it be instrumental in reducing things like poverty and having a positive impact in the world?
Well, look, I started my technology journey in blockchain in 2016 because I could see how it could contribute to really helping the poor and vulnerable, giving them identities, connecting them to the economy, allowing them to develop credit histories without bank accounts because they can't get bank accounts, and in humanitarian settings and in supply chain, protecting the provenance of medicines, for example. So there are many ways, and we're seeing, again, one of my interests is in emerging economy. We're seeing people using the blockchain in ways that is really helping it. There's an Indian fellow here who's a colleague of mine, and he's been working with poor farmers, really getting transparency into their supply chains, getting them a better deal, and tracing their cotton from the cotton farm right through to the T-shirt with a QR code, and you can see what cotton farmers cooperative produced that T-shirt and all the steps in the chain. So we're seeing great examples like that, and we just need to make more people understand what they are and how they benefit the different groups.
Yeah, I think when you are transparent in that manner, people then actually notice where their, as you say, where their cotton comes from, where their clothing comes from. And it's so important. It's so important to know who made your clothing for you. It's a lovely concept, and traceability is so important. So this is why the blockchain is important. And being here at the AIBC, obviously, again, you're our award winner, but what are the key things you want to learn when you're here and enjoy from the AIBC?
Well, I always go to conferences. My minimum is I want to learn one new thing, meet one really cool new person, and see one really cool new project. So I'm out there trying to learn as much as I can, see the innovations that these companies are showcasing, and listen to some of the speakers and just see what I can learn. And I mean, AIBC has a great array of speakers coming up, so I'm excited about what I might be able to see here.
Yeah, we really do. And I love that you say about learning, because I think so many people are scared to enter into this space because they feel like they don't know anything. But we are all here learning. It's impossible to know everything in the space. It really is. Gaming, it changes all the time. And if you're not a gamer, it might not have as much value to you, so you might not know as much.
But the people are really friendly too, because sometimes I think, some of the gamers look a bit scary. But what I find is if you overcome your nerves and you go speak to them, they're usually incredibly kind, friendly, generous people who are really keen to tell you about their projects.
I mean, not everyone can be as colourful as you, Jane, but we try. We're all different in the industry, though. We all have our different elements of what we're trying to do in the space, and that was what makes it amazing. Being here at AIBC, I mean, we're here for an adventure. We're here to learn and just network and meet interesting people. Well, thank you for being here, Jane, and enjoy the rest of your day. It is honestly such a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.